Welcome to another presentation from the CV Academics Foundation, home of the AMP Honors Program.
Hi, I'm Morgan Vavra from CV Academics. I am a super mentor, and I am with my sister Jordan Vavra, who is a speech language pathologist, and she is going to tell us about her new job. So, what do you do as a speech language pathologist?
Well, within the whole field of speech language pathology, there are a bunch of different routes that you can take. You can work in the schools or the hospitals, nursing homes, different clinics, things like that. And within those different settings, there's going to be different populations that you would see and different roles that you would take on as a speech therapist. So some of that could be language therapy, cognition, swallowing. We do a whole bunch of different stuff.
Interesting. So, how did you get interested in this career path?
Yeah, so I always kind of knew that I was interested in some sort of like service career track. I was interested in potentially becoming like a special ed teacher for a little while. And then my mom, our mom, is a physical therapist, and she kind of directed me to looking into occupational therapy and speech therapy, and I enjoyed speech better.
Nice. So you recently got a job at Marshfield Clinic. How is that going for you?
It's really great. Yeah, I enjoy it a lot. Just started like this week. So.
Can you describe a day in the life for us?
So basically I start my day, we look at the list of all the clients or patients on our kind of schedule, and we divide those up amongst the however many of us there are that day, somewhere between like 3 and 5 of us, and then we prioritize those based on their needs and if we really need to see them that day, or if they were just seen the other day and don't really need us. We go through that, we have a staff meeting, and then we kind of just divide and conquer and go about our day doing therapy.
Wow. It sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
So what type of schooling do you need to go through to get this type of job?
Yeah, so you always need your bachelor's. So that's 4-year bachelor's usually. I mean, unless you have some college credit coming in. And then it's a 2-year master's program, followed by a clinical fellowship year, which is what I'm doing right now.
All right, interesting. So when you went through clinicals, what were some of the highlights of like the different patients that you had when you did that?
So I did 2 different externships when I was in grad school, and one was in the schools and then one was in the hospital. And I mean, that was just all really cool to see the different types of patients that I would see on a regular basis and then take them on as my own after watching somebody do the job that I'm supposed to do. I also was able to have the privilege of, we did like little, what were called rotations, where I got to see different like clinics and different like specialty hospitals like the NICU. And that was just really cool, so that we could kind of get an idea of what we prefer and what we liked and disliked about our field.
Yeah, I mean, adding on to that, was there anything that you really didn't like about it?
I mean, me specifically, I prefer the hospital settings, and just working with older adults is kind of my favorite thing. So working in the schools was not like my preference, but I had like a great supervisor, and the kids there were great, and all the staff were really supportive. So I mean, there wasn't really anything I didn't like necessarily. Like, I had the best situation possible, but it's just kind of like a preference thing. Yeah.
So, is there any most memorable moment that you had either in school learning about this field or I guess in clinicals that just like was a moment of just like, oh wow, this was a learning moment right here, you know, that like just kind of was big.
I would say that in undergrad, when I went to Eau Claire, they had what was called an aphasia camp, and it had all of the adults with aphasia just like coming together from all over Wisconsin. And that was just being a volunteer for that was something that like really solidified that was the population I really enjoy working with, and that I wasn't in the wrong field necessarily.
Yeah.
Because when you're doing a lot of kids stuff all the time and you're just like, I don't know if I like working with kids, then that opportunity to work with the adults that I enjoy, that was a really special moment.
So are there any words of advice that you'd like to give to the AMP Honor students?
I would just say to try and explore all of your options and really keep an open mind when looking at the different careers available.
That's a really good suggestion.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for giving us all of this good advice and good insight. We hope to hear more from you.
This has been a presentation of the CV Academics Foundation, home of the AMP Honors Program.